Disruption Networks.
What's up, everybody? How you doing? It's EC Radio time. We're live on the Disruption Network social media platforms. Check us out live. Before we get anything, much love to my sponsors. Big ups to my peeps over at EJA Moving Services. When it's time to move and relocate, hit them up today at 315-335-0516. They'll pretty much move whatever. They will move whatever. Grand piano, they will move it. You got old refrigerators, they'll move it. You got one of those old school ice chests, they'll move it. They'll move whatever. They'll even move a freaking elephant if you had one. They'll move pretty much anything is what I'm getting at. Some of you snowbirds down in Florida, you're looking to transport your car down south, EJA will do that for you. Also, the home of the free boxes, too. So when you move and you're relocating, they give you the boxes for free. EJAmoving.com. Shout out to my attorney, Dave Longaretta, who's been keeping me out of trouble for so damn long. For so many years. Give him a call today if you need legal advice at 315-735-6162. Also, shout out to Utica Coffee, wakethehellup.com. I love you. Thank you so much for keeping me pepped up every day of the week. Utica Coffee, I love you. Okay. Also, shout out to Saranac, too. They keep me drunk as well. So we got a lot of brews going on around this freaking place of Utica. That's for damn sure. We could get hydrated. We could get drunk. We can eat. I don't know. That's what we like to do. We like to party here in Utica. And for one person out there that has partied in Utica, that is my guest that is on today. No stranger to this land.
Absolutely not.
Long-time friend of mine from the great band, heavy metal band out there. You need to check him out, Caustic Method. My good friend, Matt Caustic. How you doing, bud? Good to see you, man.
My brother. Good to see you. Even through a screen, it's good to see you, as always, man.
Have we talked yet through this Corona coaster that we've been on?
No. The last time we spoke was kind of like, I think it was just sort of starting to become a thing where people knew it wasn't the flu, and then a little bit after that is when it all started to go to hell.
Let me tell you something, man. You've been ringing in my head ever since March, and with the whole virus, let it begin. Like, you've been ringing in my head for 8 months, 9 months now.
I am Nostradamus, and I didn't even know it. I saw it coming.
When did you come up with that? When did you write that song?
That was literally, I just came up with it in my head. I think I was working one day and I was like, virus, we put it under your skin. We are the virus, let it begin. And that's all I had. But I was like, hey, I kind of dig this. So it was probably around 2014, 2015.
Okay.
Yeah, because it was on the record that came out in 15. So yeah, probably about a year before that. Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
You're screaming virus before everybody. You were predicting the future. Hey, can you give me some good stock tips for maybe the next 5 years?
Yeah, SpaceX. I don't know, but that's been out there for a while. I saw that rocket launch, and I was like, dude, I'm going to Mars. Selling all my shit. I'm getting the fuck out of here.
If they were
this place is going to hell in a handbasket, man.
No doubt, Matt. If they were like, hey, come on, get in the space shuttle, would you be in there?
Oh, absolutely. I don't know, the claustrophobic, but, if you could tour in a van with like 16 sweaty dudes and 18 guitars, I mean, what's a spaceship? Shit, whatever. Yeah, let's go. I'm sure it's got monkeys on board and like tarantulas and a whole bunch of test stuff, so it'll be fun. I'll go. Can you smoke inside the can or no?
Yeah.
Probably not.
You can vape.
I don't think you can.
You can vape.
All right, good.
You use
it
one
just
of those
gets recondensed
volcanoes.
like the urine.
Yeah.
I was watching something last night on you drink your own pee.
Come on.
Up in space. Yeah, for real. They have urine processors that put it through filters, and the guy's like got a little squeezy box. He's like, and it tastes good. I was like, what? I'm like, okay. Astronauts are superheroes. Great. More ways than one, because I'd probably not do that.
Where is this video? I need to watch this video now.
It was on Hulu or Netflix. It was about the International Space Station and how all the different countries have put up little chunks and they all link together and stuff like that. But they've got like power processors, water cleaners, gyroscopes, all sorts of stuff. It was neat. I watch silly stuff like that. I don't know, all the time.
I knew once we get into this conversation, it was going to go off the deep end, and we already hit it, right?
International Space Station's pretty fucking out there.
Yeah.
Literally.
No, how about this too? And let's go down that rabbit hole really quick. That
Sure.
there's been like this 84-year-old dude from where was he from Israel that made the announcement like that he like supposedly he's like a whistleblower, and it's like to me it's like duh. You know, the
do we
aliens have
think
been
we're
here
all
for-
high and mighty, like the only people that can survive an environment? I've always
Right.
said they're either underground, you know what I mean? Like it's warmer towards the center of your planet. If the crust becomes too cold, what's your instinct to do? Go down. And so you're not going to see any like little one-eyed guys walking around the planet. They're going to be, probably 100 feet down where it's warmer. It just makes sense. People adapt and creatures adapt to their environment. So, there's no reason that there's not life somewhere else. We'd have to be ignorant. We'd have to be completely ignorant.
and not only life.
Oh no!
else,
Here
but
goes my email. Oh, dude, going down the rabbit hole.
not only life outside, this globe, but also here within too, eternally. There's aliens living amongst us. Come on.
There's been a lot of talk about Antarctica and that big opening up in Antarctica. That's basically the passageway to an underground civilization up there, and they just kind of leave us alone. But they monitor us supposedly. I think that's neat.
Yeah. Oh, they're getting.
We could probably learn something from them. You know what I mean? Anything that could hide in plain sight for hundreds and hundreds of years.
Yeah.
I'd give them props. I'll listen to what they got to say.
Yeah. Even
sure,
if Bigfoot had something to say right now, we'd listen to him.
Yeah, because he probably makes more sense than most people talking.
No doubt, man.
Unga, unga, dunga. Yeah, buddy. I'm with you.
But
Unga,
if
bunga.
if there is that civilization living in Antarctica right now, they're getting quite the show in 2020, huh?
Yeah. And I think that's why they might reveal themselves, because we're going backwards.
Right.
I think that we were put here, like if you look, I watch a lot of it, like about the ancient Egyptians and stuff like that. They had a more spiritual being, a more harmonious interaction. I mean, it was a different civilization that they say was inspired by, aliens to some extent on how to kind of live right, and that the pyramids were electrical conductors and they gave off positive ions or negative ions. And, it was supposed to be like, the higher, we had 360-degree senses, and now we're down to what, 5, 6, 7? I don't even know, because I don't care. But we used to have senses that were almost like radar, and we've dumbed ourselves down over the years to the point where, we fight over politicians. Like, it's almost like sports teams now. You know what I mean? It's just gotten really kind of weird. I don't remember any of this ever happening in my life anyway, where if the president was elected, yeah, okay, well, you lost, whatever, sorry, we'll move on. It's still America, keep going. But now there's just these hard lines and vendettas, you know what I mean? So
Oh, yeah.
I think they're going to reveal themselves because we're slipping.
I hope so.
They're going
If
to come in and take over the Wegmanses all over the place, and then we're screwed.
if anything, this would be the year to do it too. Like, just
Yeah,
do it. You've hit us with so much shit this year. Reveal yourself.
Yeah, and all the celebrity deaths too as well. You know what I mean? It's all intertwined and so crazy that it's like we're supposed to be going through a dark ages. Did you hear about that though?
Yeah.
Like on the zodiac calendar, the Chinese calendar, like supposedly like the world goes through the bronze area, and we're going into a dark age. But through the dark ages, there's always the Renaissance Enlightenment a little bit afterwards. I just hope we'll be alive to get to that damn point because this has been sliding for about 5 years, I think.
Oh, absolutely. I agree.
Yes.
We remember back when it was like 2012, and they're like, oh, the world's going to be coming to an end. And in a way, I think what happened was consciousness came to an end in 2012, and it's just really starting to see it now. It took a little while for it to manifest, and now here it is. As you say, we're going into a dark age, and I think it started back in 2012.
Yeah, and to me, it kind of started with the propagation of misinformation. Facebook became everybody's news. It wasn't NBC, CBS, and they could slant however they want in whatever direction. But once you start going to Facebook for news, anybody can buy anything or can say anything and buy it. You know what I mean? It's all targeted ads now. Facebook doesn't care as long as your dollar's green. You can go and talk shit and say whatever you want, and all of a sudden now we got fact checkers because everybody figured that out. That it's all money used for propaganda or just to sway or divide us. I think we talked about this before. It's pretty much the great divide. You're either pro-abortion, anti-abortion, pro-guns, anti-guns. You're either a Republican or a Democrat. it goes back and forth. It's insane. Like, it's just more polarizing factors than ever, like, especially politics. That's what blows my mind.
Me too, brother. We're only allowed two choices. You get McDonald's and Burger King. You get Coke and Pepsi. You get Republican, Democrat. You're only allowed two choices in this country.
And that's what I feel like is wrong with the system.
Exactly.
There's only two choices, because even if you lean far, far right or far, far left, your agenda is not the same as the guy sitting up there. Right. So there should probably be 4 or 3 at least to break this gridlock, especially in Congress too. It used to be, 73 nay, 12 yay. You know what I mean? It wasn't just like all the Republicans say no, all the Democrats say yes because they don't want to piss off their friends, which is pretty much it. They're all tight-knit with each other, you know what I mean?
Yep.
And if you go the wrong way on a decision, people will turn their nose up to them. So there's a lot of political fear, I think, like as far as doing the right thing. Ethics, I don't think, is part of it anymore. It's just go with the flow.
Ethics is out
and
the
don't
window.
ruffle feathers.
Ethic and civics are totally out the window, and politics have just become another form of sports entertainment. That's all it is. The only thing
that's what it
the
is.
Physical
That's
contact
totally it.
is the only
Totally
thing lacking from politics right now as a comparison to sports entertainment.
Yeah.
Hopefully, maybe one day we'll see these old motherfuckers start slugging it out too. That would be badass.
Have you seen Parliament? Have you seen Parliament in England? How they will literally fist fight each other sometimes?
Oh, yeah.
That's awesome. I mean, talk about trying to get something done. I challenge you to a duel. and then you watch a couple senators fight it out.
Yeah.
Get it out of your systems.
Celebrity
instead of
deathmatch.
not doing what's best. Instead of not doing what's best for the country, because that's, I think, what the big problem is. Agendas, big money. Nobody's doing anything for the country. Everything is just for their cause or themselves, and that's the real problem. It's not for the bigger picture anymore. It's capitalism. Capitalism kills. It's great, but at the same point, like, everybody just wants to make money. You know what I mean? And they'll fleece the world saying they're going to be in office and get everybody in the world behind them. And then if you don't win, what happens? Then everybody's that gave you all those millions are let down. And, money, there shouldn't be special interest money. There should be more than one party or more than two parties at least.
Yeah.
A couple of those things would be the quick fix. But
what we need to do is take big business out of government is what needs to happen.
Absolutely. Tobacco, guns, all that shit that just floods the candidates with cash over a cause. And that small cause could put somebody in the White House because it flooded that much money into it. You know what I mean? So it's really weird. Really a strange time.
It is.
Because that's kind of it. Money rules everybody.
God damn it, Matt. I told myself, I'm not going to go down the political rabbit hole with Matt today because I know how we get. Like, when we get together, a lot of the shit, we start talking. Because you and I, we come from the same cloth a lot on a lot of these issues and stuff. And I knew, like, I was thinking about that today. I'm like, no way do I want to start talking politics with Matt. But here we are. And
typically, a few years ago, I wouldn't be able to hang because I'd be like, I don't know.
Well, no, we used to have these political conversations, and it usually was, passing around a poll or something before the gig. But
absolutely,
we definitely got into this. But hey, have you been writing since this whole Corona coaster started? I'm sure you've been.
I mean, I've done a couple collaborations. I'm just kind of like, it's a kind of like this weird state for music. Mm-hmm. I don't necessarily think it's good in any ways, but it can be, I guess, if you utilize the tools. Like, okay, now we're like, oh, how do we stream a show? So you got to do the homework to figure out how to stream. How can we all rehearse through Zoom? So, Angel's got this killer, electronic kit. We're all getting Reaper and all this shit that you need, Like, really? Okay, yeah, I'm down with it because that's our only option. You know what I mean? But the personal interaction's not there. And I think a lot of the stuff that you see on Facebook too, there's no personal interaction. So it's like the X and the Y axis. There's time and there's, playing going on, but there's not that Z axis of emotional and personal response to the listening experience. Mm-hmm. So a lot of it falls flat for me, and then I'm seeing a lot of the people that I idolize going on doing, happy hours and stuff, doing cover songs really badly. And I think I've seen a few, and I'm like, wow, okay, I don't even want to see this. And it's kind of like, to stay relevant, what's more valuable, to keep the quality high or just keep your face out there? So I think Facebook's a game of keeping your face out there, but it doesn't necessarily mean that you want your face out there on some of the stuff that you might be producing as content, because that's the, oop. I'm getting crazy over here. Sorry, I just flipped my phone upside down.
That
But
was the Facebook
that's
God
what it's
speaking to you.
yeah, like shut up and go make some content. Whatever the fuck that was. That's like a new word too, right? Content. I'm like, oh, that sounds so pretentious. Can't you just record a song on a video or upload an MP3? You know? But you got to roll with it. You got to kind of figure out how to adapt. So now we're trying to, we were trying to start with the GarageBand thing and sending like band files around so you could add things to it, send it back, chip chop it, and send it back. But that's technically kind of tough sometimes. Everybody's got to have the right gear, or just it doesn't translate right. There's a lot of logistics to it, and that's what's kind of weird. Now it's become a logistics game on how to get everything in the computer, everybody synced up, everybody being able to hear each other, and how to send files properly. And I want to like fully subscribe to it because it seems like something we're gonna have to deal with for a while. But at the same point, I just feel like I just want to make some music with my friends in a room and feel the volume shaking my pant legs and other shit, so that, like I'm inspired, to get an attitude. I mean, a lot of the stuff, especially that's why I'm saying this about probably a lot of these live streams. It's like, how do you get that attitude without the nerves, without the people feeding you at least some sort of response? Even if somebody hates you and you see that person hates you, what do? You just like, yeah, I'm gonna make this motherfucker hate me even more. There's motivation in it all, and I think a lot of that just feels so flat. So I hope this doesn't last forever. I guess, because the live show, you just can't beat it. You just can't beat it.
Yeah, for sure. And it is difficult passing around files, and you're missing the human interaction for sure. It means a lot, especially when you're writing music, and when it's always a good time you get together with your boys. There's that ball breaking and the whole camaraderie thing. You're in the locker room type of thing. That's definitely gone from the whole aspect, but that will definitely.
That's
100%
the seasoning and the
back.
sauce. You know what I mean? That's the seasoning and the sauce. It's the interaction between people, and now it's like, okay, you're just kind of putting layers on top of layers, and it doesn't have the transients in between and the space and the dynamic as much. It just seems flat. And stay on the click, stay on the grid, make sure it's correct, instead of just 4 microphones on the amps and just bash the shit out of it. So we'll get together sooner or later, I guess, and start bashing it out, and it'll all come full circle. As long as you stay productive, though, I guess, keep writing, keep developing material. That's all you really can do at this point.
So have you been writing a lot?
As far as I'm like, me, I'm a nut. I got GarageBand and my headphones on, and I just walk around mumbling into the iPad. And my kids look at me like, what the fuck are you doing? I'm like, oh, it's just an idea for later. He's like, my kid the other day came in while I was actually tracking something, but I'll put the scratch ideas down first. What are you doing? That sounds horrible. And it was just me, like, just scatting and verbalizing something so I can come back later to it and give it some oomph. And he's just like, God, what the hell was that? He's like, you're usually pretty good. I'm like, yeah. I'm like, I'll fix it in the mix with the auto-tune. So he understood what auto-tune was. So I guess that's cool. I said, it'll sound like Nelly or all that other shit you listen to. It'll be great.
Well, if you can't get constructive criticism from your family, who can you get it from, right?
Right. It was just a look on his face. I was like, is that really going to... Oh... And he looked disgusted with me. But it was just like a little, I just had something in my head, and sometimes I'll just like a doodle, it's like just a verbal doodle. And then I do this thing too, like if I'm working on a mix and I got the headphones on and I'm sitting there, I grumble. I didn't know I do this until my kids and my wife have just been screaming at me, lady, are you listening to music? I'm like, why? I make these noises. Do you do that? Or am I the only weirdo in the world? If anybody could chime in and like message me, when I listen to music, I make these like I'm speaking in tongues,
really,
but I don't hear myself. Yeah, so like they don't hear the music, but they'll hear me sitting in the corner going, and I just do this like Gregorian chant / speaking in tongues thing on top when I listen to music. It's really weird. Mainly when I'm recording, not so much when I'm listening back to something. But
oh my
crazy.
God, that's hysterical.
Absolutely crazy. Yeah, I don't know what it is.
So you got a little studio set up right now? Is that where you are right now?
Yeah. I've got, just, laptop, TV, microphone, a couple guitars sitting around. Simple. I think that's what I like about it. Yeah. You don't need snakes and multi cables everywhere. It's just, you can get your ideas down in a project situation real easy these days for not a lot,
Yeah.
Good set of headphones really is the main thing, I think. If you're not listening to what you're hearing, you know,
You're right.
what's really going on, then it just throws it all off. And a $50 mic, you know, and a good set of headphones, you'll get some good progress.
Yeah, no doubt.
Oddly enough.
No doubt.
Yeah.
What else you been doing to occupy your time?
A lot of graphic production. I'm doing a lot of trailers, a lot of teas, you know, a lot of signage, stuff like that, which is pretty cool, just as a job wise. You know what I mean? But you know, most of my time's been writing. Like literally, I'll get my jobs done. And the first thing I want to do is grab my iPad and work on that weird ass thing I did yesterday in the Gregorian chants on it and see what I got going on. And then I'll lay some, you know, choir music down on top of my Gregorian chant and see what I come up with. It'll be it'll be like Enya, but fucked up.
The metal Enya. Mongolian metal.
It's fun though. Yeah, pretty much. The Who.
The Who,
they're
right?
pretty good, right? You see that?
Yeah, not bad.
That's kind of cool.
I like
I'm
the
like,
whole
why
rhythm
is-
patterns of them.
Why is Roger Daltrey not like banging on their door right now, going, "You can't do that. No, just changing the letters." Oh fuck. Right?
Yeah,
Because I heard,
seriously.
oh, this is the Who. I was like, they sound like they're from another country, and then they're like, no, HU. I was like, it's still the Who. Fuck, you can't do that, can you? Maybe
Should
you
be the,
can.
should be the hoe.
That's what I kept calling it too. I was like, the
Right.
Who, the Huh,
The
the
Huh.
Huh. I just thought it was like pronounced completely different than the Who, and then somebody said the Who. I was like, oh, wow, that's blatant, but whatever. If it works, it's memorable, I guess, right? And
sure.
Jacoby from Papa Roach likes it, so hey, it works. Can't be wrong. Shit. What
else-
about you for music? What are you doing?
Right now, nothing. I haven't been inspired, Matt. I need to get inspired musically. It's been sitting
Okay,
there.
let's.
You know?
You want to do something, and everybody's going to hear it first. You want to? You remember Roadrunner United
Yeah,
when there was teams and people co-wrote shit?
yeah, yeah.
What better time than now to like collaborate with everybody in the scene
I
and just
know.
pick teams and random people just cover songs, originals, whatever. I would love to just see like me and you go grab 5 people, tell them to go grab 3 more people each, and just make teams out of it and just record some shit. I think it would be like the funnest experience. So if you're down with that, you let me know. 'Cause
Yeah,
I think
for
that'd
sure.
be fun.
That's interesting. That's
I would
a
love
good
to do a
little,
song. I'd love to do a song with Z. You know what I'm saying?
Same, likewise, man. I would love to do a song with you as well. I love that idea. All right, look, I got chills. Actually, you just gave me chills. So that means it's going to
There's
happen.
just so many cool people. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah, I think it would just be like a neat thing for the state. You know what I mean? Because we can pull in people from all over the place.
So who would
And it
be
would
on
just
your
direct
list right
focus
now?
to like how much talent.
Who would be your all-star team right now,
God,
locally
yeah,
and
my
regionally?
list is pretty huge.
Right. Well, throw
Oh
some
man,
guys
there's
out
so
there.
many people. Well, John LaManna from Cry to the Blind,
For sure.
killer vocalist. You know what I mean? So like, you know, for me, I'm a guitarist that sings, but to me, songs are always really grounded by good vocalists. So it would have to be like, you know, kind of bring the vocalists and we'll piece in. You know, if we can get some good vocalists to commit to doing it, shit, then you know the quality is going to be there at the end of it all. And then we know a million just killer fucking instrumentalists all over the state. Like
Sure,
I couldn't
man.
even make a list, literally. I really couldn't. I'm like I could think of a million people, but it depends on, you know, like who else is in it, because pairing up and making like little super groups of like, oh, those dudes will play well together, and like really looking at it and just seeing who wants to do it. And then kind of group people up with who would probably feed off each other, cool, and who we might want to personally see work with somebody else. Like, oh, I'd love to see that drummer in that place player just do a song, see what the hell it sounds like. You know, I think that'd be like fun and goodwill. You know, like, it's not a money maker, obviously, because you don't make money at music. But just once every couple of days, you see a video pop up with a bunch of us goofballs all collaborating together, making something out of thin air or covering some, you know. Beds are burning. You want to do Beds are burning first?
Midnight Oil.
Sleep while the beds are burning. Yeah, how do you shit? I think it'd be fun as fuck. I've always wanted to do that. And safety dance, too. You can dance if you want to. You can leave your ass behind. And make it like prong or something like that. But I think that the possibilities are just so endless. And I'm pretty sure there'd be so many people. You know, Dan from Murder in the Rue Morgue. There'd be a ton of people. The guys from Cry to the Blind. I'm sure, like, even STEM is active again. It'd be great to get somebody from STEM on it. Anybody that wants to do it, it would just be so fun. So fun. Because
I love that
idea.
idea.
Insane.
I love that
I think it
idea.
would be cool.
Is this something you've been
Just because
stewing on
nobody's
for a
doing
while?
anything, man.
Yeah.
Kind
true.
of, yeah. You know, a little bit, because I've been doing just random collaborations, and it's kind of cool. It breaks you out of your shell. You get to see how other people kind of structure stuff. You know, because when you're in your own project, you kind of, you know, you do what's right for the project. but you don't necessarily, bring in the Enya, the cellos and the and the big reverbs and all that. It just doesn't fit. But maybe I might want to do a Nightwish song. Like I don't know. There's so many different genres of music that we all love, but we all get in our bands, and like you kind of got to stick to the formula some days, unless you're in a band that's got really sideways lateral movement, which most listeners aren't patient with. So
Right.
it's kind of just be as just to see what people come up with. I did the one thing. Remember that album with Torment the Vein?
Yeah, I do.
Where they had different singers on every single song.
Yeah.
That's kind of a cool inspiration. Just thinking about that, like they had different vocalists on each song. Each song there was a thread that tied it all together, but each singer gave it a completely different vibe, and it all worked.
Yeah.
All worked. I mean, they gave the right songs to the right people, and it was just cool, and it was a neat collective thing. We were all down with it too. Nobody was like, "Oh, my song isn't my song, and I want this song," and it was nothing like that. It was very organic. It just sort of showed up. Looking cool.
Dude, we
Really
have
cool.
to do this. We have to 100% have to do this.
Yeah, I just think it'd be cool. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Especially just now. It's just now is the time to do something like that because we're not all gigging and crazy. We can't really do much. It's sort of weird, right? We can't book anything. How can you even book a show? You can't.
I barely leave my house.
Me either. That's right. Let's do something because I'm fucking bored.
Right.
There's no other reason. Let's just make music because we're all fucking bored.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah. So because we can't book nothing, and then okay. Then the other point is too, we could all finish up records and stuff like that, but you can't tour a record. And if you really want to properly do a sales cycle, you got to tour on a record. And like, I don't see a lot of people putting out singles. Seems to be the new standard though. Like every 2 months, drop a new song until you got a full record, and then drop the album after that. There seems to be new little tricks that they're pulling.
Yeah.
Which kind of works.
Yeah, for sure. Is there any new bands out there that you could put on my radar? Anybody you're listening to?
Bad Omens.
Bad Omens.
Have you heard them yet?
I think so.
Yeah, really cool band. Yeah, they're heavy as shit, very, very light, a little bit of both at the same time. And then Testrarch, I'm gonna have to look how to say the name, but I've been jamming the shit out of that. It's heavy as hell. Really cool though, but kind of like pure heavy, you know what I mean? Not super trendy heavy or like too deathy or anything like that. It's very, very, very well understandable too. That's just my thing, you know what I mean? I got to know what the dude's saying. And when the vocals kind of go into that ground where I can't understand, I'm losing like 25 to 30% of my listening experience. So like that caught me about those guys. And Bad Omens too, man. Killer clean voice, but then man, dude could scream like some parts. It's weird. It sounds like Asking Alexandria meets Slipknot. If you could kind of different, totally different, which is cool. You know what I mean? Some great stuff. Still under fire from the gods. It won't go away.
I know. Same here, brother.
It won't stop, right?
Same here.
It's so good. I don't know. Who else?
Probably my favorite band of this year.
The Ghost Inside. Do you like them?
I'm not familiar.
You got to check them out. That's a good band. Heavy as shit. It's like hardcore, but it's got melodies and hooks.
Yeah.
It keeps that aggression, but it also has the release of like, wow, this is catchy and cool. So it's a different sort of listen for me. I dig it.
Your background.
New Head PE's out.
Is it? I gotta check that out.
Good. Real good.
I gotta check
Back
that out.
to heavy.
Your background is metal, man. What do you think about all these subgenres that are going on throughout metal? Well, throughout all of music in general, but I feel like metal is the one that's got all the subgenres.
I've hated it for 15 years because you go to London and England and overseas, and you'll see Guns N' Roses playing with Danger with Winger, and then Cannibal Corpse and Deicide on the same bill, and nobody seems to be like, like it's music to them over there. It's a different mindset. We're the only ones I think that put shit into categories like this is America.
Yeah,
and it's been going on for a long time. Postmodern hardcore. So I guess it's cool if you need a descriptive adjective to describe your sound, but I gravitate to bands that don't have a descriptive narrative at all, like that just are completely fucking unique. Skindred, Nonpoint, Fire from the Gods, Bad Omen, like that thing that just doesn't. It's just kind of like a fringe, you know what I mean? You can't throw it in they have elements of, death metal to some extent, but they also have elements of different genres in one. So I don't want to put them in a box because it doesn't do them justice if I like their music. Mm-hmm. And I think that's the problem. A lot of bands get panned and shit on because they just got put in the wrong box. And that's not fair because art is fucking art. You know what I mean? Like, and
Right.
I just don't like it. I've hated it for years. It's just been such the worst thing for music. Probably is all these different subgenres.
Right.
It just doesn't work. It doesn't
Everybody's
work.
got to describe you, and that's the problem. Like in metal too, metal has the most subgenres I think out of any category in all of music.
It's mind-boggling. And when our record came out, all these national reviews, they were all calling us new metal.
New metal.
And yeah, and today I'm fine with that. I don't give a shit because I mean, it was stigmatized. The new metal thing was. Now all of a sudden there's a new metal. You know what I mean?
Come on.
So I'm confused by that.
New
Yeah,
metal?
literally, there's a new metal. Yes, absolutely. These newer bands that have the elements of new metal, but in a modern context, whatever. But they used us. They called us new metal, and I was like, "Fuck, man! I don't listen like to that much of that shit at all. I'm more into Machine Head, Hatebreed, Devil Driver, Blood Simple, you know, just super American chunky metal. I'm not into like." You know, I don't listen to stuff that came out 20 years either. I'm kind of weird like that. I'll either go to the classics that really stood out to me, or I just want to keep it moving and keep learning and kind of expanding my palette. So like when they started calling us new metal and all these reviews, I'm like, shit, that just kind of sets the mood to the reader. And they might not even go check us out just because of that little catchphrase that they felt like they had to put on it. You know what I mean?
Right.
Does it do a good band justice? No, it doesn't. To say that they're a prog band. What's a prog band? They played in 7/8 for 8 measures, and all of a sudden they're prog because that's all you listened to before you wrote the review. And you know, it just doesn't make sense to me. I've never seen it. It's like being colorblind. You know, you gotta
right.
fuck up.
Is there a list of definition of all these subgenres too? Like it's, you know, that's the whole thing. There's just way too many, brother.
I could write a song in the time it would take me to read the list. I bet.
Right.
You know? Keep the art moving, man. Keep the art moving. Let us put us in any box they want. As long as they listen to you, I guess great. Put me wherever the fuck you want. As long as you heard it and hated it or loved it, one of the two. Any reaction's a good reaction.
Right. Totally.
At least you get. If you get no reaction, then there's a problem.
Right.
Right? How many times you get a demo and you're like, the silence falls.
Yep. They usually go in the bin of lost demos, right? I know I've got a bunch of those for years, especially throughout like the bar years at the electric company. You would just listen
because
to
people
this
would walk
and be
around just passing you CDRs. I still got stacks of them with the
Right.
CDRs with a hand scribbled name that I can't read the band because my beer spilled and I smudged it. You know, like that type of thing. I remember that so well, and we did it too, man. I ain't hating on it because I did it.
Oh, yeah.
I was handing out burnt
to.
CDs with my phone number on it to everybody. Sure.
Yeah.
Different game back then. It was a different. You had to adapt and overcome. Just like
Right.
now. I'll be doing my Zoom call here soon to the guys. Hey, Jays, what's up? And then my kids are screaming in the background.
You know, fun. Back to the Zoom call with the guys. How do you guys deal with the latency? Is there an app out for that?
We're just getting it going. Like we're literally we're just getting all the electronics, and we're just about to get it to the point where we can start playing. Literally, I had to get a whole bunch of like silly adapters for my I needed to get a camera adapter to be able to get an 1/8-inch plug into my iPad. Okay, where do you get one of those in Auburn? I'm not in like a major metropolitan area. I literally went to every single store in this town just to find an iPad camera adapter so that you can get a USB into an iPad. Couldn't find it anywhere. So now I had to switch over to PC, which is a whole. See, I haven't written a song yet when it comes to all this crap. I've been playing in cables and broken headphones. I just want to sit down and write. That's why with GarageBand, I'll typically just put my headphones in and use this microphone right here. Mm-hmm. And I get everything I need out of it. I don't need any cables or anything. I just walk around the house, grunting and doing Mongolian chants. It's perfect. When it starts to get more like you got to sit in front of the screen, you know what I mean? That's when I don't like to sit still. Yeah, I've been sitting here too long, huh?
I know.
I've been here a while.
This is probably a record for you right now.
Absolutely.
Like
absolutely.
a fucking caged animal right now.
Yeah. Drug-free caged animal. It's crazy. Too much Pepsi.
Go.
That's all it is. I'm just all over the rocker. Yeah, speaking of playing in Utica, man, so many bars. McGill's.
Oh, yeah.
The Rock and Roll Preserve.
Yeah.
What was the other one that used to be on a side street? It was all green. I've been trying to pull the name of this place for forever.
Kelly
it was
O'Neill's?
like down just a little. No, it was a little green place, had an outside patio with like green painted concrete, and then you walked in. It was very Irish. I have to go
McDonald's?
through the old. No,
It's
I'll
not
remember.
Kelly O'Neill's?
I think it was. No, it was. It was a name though. It was a name, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, I could picture it. Had all brass and gold furniture. This is like years ago, bro.
Did you play the Metro?
I just been trying to pull it.
Did you ever play the Metro?
No.
No,
How
I
long
thought
was
you
that?
did for some
I don't
reason.
remember
That
that.
was a while ago.
Let me tell you about this place though, called the Electric Company.
Oh man, hashtag my blackout years.
hashtag I don't remember a thing. Hashtag how was our set? Question mark.
Yeah.
You were like the only place we could go and felt like really at home. You know what I mean? You always had beers for us in the bucket, like ready to go. You know what I mean? And we would get a little loose though.
Oh wait, that's some
we would
fun,
get
man.
loose. Oh, absolutely, absolutely.
Utica has this
Oh, man.
stigmatism about like if you're coming to Utica as a traveling band, you're probably going to lose a couple brain cells.
Yeah, or your pants.
Oh, your pants. See, you know.
You probably found a lot of them behind the bar, didn't you? You find a pair of leather chaps. Those weren't mine.
Yeah, those
Guaranteed.
weren't yours. No.
No. Some crazy nights, though, man. I remember all that. Oh, man.
Oh, yeah, I know.
But
there
it's
was
not
some
like
wild
that.
ones.
I mean, it's so hard to like find that again. I don't know why. What is it? Is it
Well,
like that? Is it just? It's weird, right?
Well, now we got this Corona coaster going on. Like gigs are done at whoever's gigging out there, they're done at 10 o'clock, and I see that kind of sticking around even for when this all does come back to somewhat of a new standard again. I don't know. I see
that
early nights.
too.
Remember,
I
the
see that
headliner
too.
used to go on at midnight, or how
And
did
if
we
shit
ever
ran
do it?
downhill, and if shit ran downhill, you'd go on at 1:15. There's been many a night where we didn't go on until like not at your place, but like in some places where like you're going on. We went on once in Syracuse at 1:45 in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
Like everybody takes their time loading out or whatever. One thing can just set the whole night, and we've always been. Don't get there till midnight because we won't be playing before midnight. I guarantee that.
Right.
Shit.
I know you're excited to play a show, though, but I mean, a lot of things are going to be different, man. The one good thing, though, everybody stay 6 feet away from me, type of thing, But it's going to change, though.
No beer breath at the after meet and greet.
Right. Or nobody's spilling drinks on your pedals anymore.
On your amps and shit. But I don't want to play behind plexiglass. I've seen that going on.
Have you?
Like where people are behind plexi. Yeah, that's kind of weird. But I guess it's one of those things, man. You just got to adapt and just keep rolling with it, I suppose. It's the only thing we can do, right? I mean, I'm just worried that there's not that they don't. Because it does seem like all the fun, none of it makes sense to me to begin with, because we're all touching the same ATM pads, we're all reaching into the same, change cup at the. There's how come everything that doesn't seem to make sense is what's being regulated? Like hair, that just seems so odd to me. Like they were regulating that, and like certain things, it just doesn't seem like a high threat, very low threat level, because it's a one-on-one interaction with masks. I guess maybe the distancing thing, but. There's something to be said about having those things during something like this that makes you feel more normal and sane, Not like I go get haircuts or nothing like that, but shit, there was people like, I just want to go get my head. I just want to get edged up, like shit like that. And I'm like, I understand. You have to wait. It's just weird. Very weird.
Nothing makes sense. It doesn't. None of this ever makes sense. And it goes back
to.
Are
you going to take the vaccine?
I'm not running for it. No way. No way.
I know.
I mean,
it's so odd. I'm like, oh boy, here we go. I don't know. I don't want to die. I don't want to get sick, but I don't want to die from a vaccine. I don't know.
What should happen? They shouldn't give it they shouldn't give it to the frontline workers. They should give it to all the politicians first.
Right. If you sign the bill to put this into a mandatory action, I want to see.
Okay, you take it first.
One from each state. Yeah, take
all
it.
of them.
And I want 4 to 5 weeks to see. But with vaccines, though, just like everything, the real problems don't show up like for years. Years and years and years. So to fast track something like this out of desperation, I'm more worried about what's going to happen to our kids 30 years from now when the ill results start showing up. You know what I mean? That's a bad deal.
Right.
So
exactly.
I don't know. It's just, I hope they don't rush it too fast, but it's too late too. But then I've heard stuff like, okay, you can't go to a show until you have a vaccine. You can't go to shows. Like regulating like the fun things via control of a vaccination or not. Like that's the other thing I'm worried about. Like if you don't have a vaccine, what are you not going to be able to do? And are you going to have to succumb to it just to be able to go to the grocery store or go to a show or to a bar? You know, they could tighten the noose on us real quick in any different direction right now. You know, where it's in that state where it is a crisis, it is an emergency, but legislation is you know, all of a sudden there's a blanket to kind of slide things in under, and you know how it is. If they could take advantage of it, they probably will.
We lose our freedoms every day.
Slowly, yep. Just
Slowly.
slowly. Like pulling the tablecloth out from underneath the silverware, like just a quarter inch at a time. So you're like, hey, why is there a wood table? Oh, and then you choke them with it. It just doesn't make sense.
Suffocate them.
Yeah, literally. Damn. Yeah.
Comes that political rabbit hole again.
Yeah, we better get out of this one real quick. We're gonna start pissing off our fan bases. Like, Jesus, this dude's a nutball. He must be a conspiracy theorist. He's talking about the Egyptians and aliens. Yeah, if people paraphrase our whole interview into little chunks, they'd be like, wow, these two are crazy.
Puckhead saying, I guess Live Nation won't be getting any of my money then. And that might be a thing. Like, if you want to go to a Live Nation show, you got to show proof that you've been vaccinated. That's going to be a thing. Or
Puckhead, you're right, man. We're going to have a hard time with that.
Travel restrictions as well, too. I mean, eventually I'm going to want to get the hell out.
Absolutely. And then as far as doing huge shows with 50, 60,000 people, think about the insurance that a Live Nation would have to cover. Because if somebody just goes there that's immune compromised and catches it, they could be like, well, why didn't Live Nation? They gave me Corona. You know what I mean? Like, you know how shit goes. You know, it could be an insurance liability to them to mass gather people. You know what I mean? If there's an outbreak that was at the Def Leppard show, what the hell are we going to do? Pour some sugar on me. That's about all you can do. Bury me in sugar. It'll be great.
No, but you bring up a great point. I mean, it's such a liability. It's not even going to be messed with at all. I mean, that's
what's driven. I mean, all the other liabilities have driven concert costs through the atmosphere. So what's just one more thing? You know, shows will be $200 now.
Especially something just like this. Oh yeah.
Because the performers have to take a pay cut. They were already pushing that through right at the beginning. Remember?
Oh,
Live Nation saying how the percentages were going to drop considerably.
Yeah, they're getting door deals.
Literally. Yeah. Right. I mean, I guess if you're really a top-selling artist, that might be great for you. You know what I mean? But if you're in that mid-level where people are like, oh, I don't go out, but I kind of don't want to go out. I mean, there's some bands who'd be like, I'm going. Don't care if I catch it or not. I'm going to go. I'm going. And then there's some bands like, oh, I would go see them, but I don't really want to put myself at risk. There's, you know, they might push the ones that need that bump out of the picture. It's weird. It's definitely, I don't know. That vaccination thing, though, just to get into places, that might be a problem for a lot of people.
For sure. It's going to be because, God, how many people out there are? Nobody's running out to get this thing. I mean, they're probably the frontline workers or whatever, but I don't, at least within my circle, I don't see anybody running out to go get it.
No, absolutely not. I don't. And I don't know if that's just like a personal liberty thing or whatever, but I just don't see them selling it. You know what I mean? Or enforcing it. I guess that's the real thing. I guess there'll be a lot of people that are going to want it just to feel safe because they're scared.
Right.
But then there's a lot of people that are just that don't trust the vaccine itself. I'm kind of that dude. And then there's people that will just not want to do it just because it violates their freedom.
Right. I'd rather 100 million Americans take it before I do and see how it works.
Yeah, because they definitely fast track this, man. They fast track it like no vaccine ever. You know, if they could put this much energy into cancer research or you know, just anything. Yep. If they could fast track this, shit, come on. They got the means to do a lot of other things that they don't apply themselves to do. So it's going to be, it's going to be really funny to see this play out. You know, not funny at all, probably. I mean, it's just going to be sad to see this play out.
Like you said in the beginning, we're going into the dark ages right now.
Yeah. I mean, as far as personal interactions go, people are much more closed off now than ever. Now, you know, depression rates are up. Stuff like that. Our interactions are vital to our well-being. And now it's like, you know, we don't, like you said, we don't leave the house. We don't have, you know, now I have a conversation with the, you know, the person selling me a six-pack and all of a sudden, oh, hey, great to see you. How you been? You know, like, who the hell are you? But I'm talking to a human being outside of my circle. This is amazing. So it takes its toll, I think. You know what I mean? Like, I think
sure.
there's going to be results of this too. The psychological results of this will probably show up too, sooner or later through the kids not going to school. Like, I'm a teacher now. I'm a full-fledged teacher.
Yeah.
For 4 to 5 hours a day, I'm doing algebra and speaking Spanish and all the other stuff I never wanted to do again. So, for free. The state's not cutting me a check.
Right?
Who's going to pay for my blackboard and all this chalk? Shit. It's crazy.
And now you got to relearn everything all over again. Not only that, but they don't teach like how they used to teach, like when we were growing up. It's a whole new education system now.
Yeah. Dad, can you help me? Yeah. Let me get my Google, my Siri, and YouTube open so I can figure this, multiplying fractions with I was like, what? Shit. I consider myself to be a little bit more intelligent than the average ape, but I'm like, I don't remember how to multiply or add fractions. I don't. Like, I literally had to learn how to do it to show my kid. And I'm like, well, shit. Who's smarter? Who's smarter? Like, he had a better handle on it than me and just needed a little help. I had to go back in YouTube how to multiply fractions. I don't know. I just haven't applied that in a long time.
Hilarious, man. Yeah,
I took Spanish. I don't remember any of that either.
It's to the point where you're just like, hey, kid, listen, you're not going to need any of this when you grow up. So, right?
See, you're making me bleed. All of a sudden, I'm bleeding for some reason. See that?
See?
Can you see the blood? I don't know why.
I can't.
Yeah, literally. I got blood all over me. I don't know what I do.
Go clean it up, brother. I'm really looking forward to hearing some music out of you guys when this whole thing and we're through this Corona coaster, because I'm sure you're going to come up with a couple screamers.
Yeah. There's some real interesting stuff on the plate right now. It's got some pretty intense imagery and some really cool subject matter. That's pretty heavy, real heavy. But as always, I'll just make sure it comes out as soon as we can. It's just been so hard to rehearse. We had a COVID thing in our rehearsal room, or somebody in there had an issue. So it's hard to make any plans to do anything. It's so crazy.
Yeah.
I'd like to have a show on the books and something to look forward to. I guess that's it too. There's absolutely nothing to look forward to. You just got to keep creating and being resourceful and do, I guess, the technical work to get your band together online and just be able to write together in some capacity. We've been struggling. We've all been struggling to try to figure out the method, the means, the timing, all that stuff. It's so crazy.
We'll get through this, and hopefully when we do get through this, we're going to throw a monster freaking festival and just everybody, all hands come together, all hands on deck, and just rock the hell out in Central New York.
And that's what I'm hoping is the case. Everybody's been deprived of entertainment. Let's face it, the scenes have not been healthy. But every scene's got its ups and its downs type of thing. But live music in general, as just an outlet of entertainment, hasn't been as substantial as DJs, let alone anything. You know what I mean? Like, more people go, if there's a DJ playing, like the average people seem to want to go to that as opposed to live musical entertainment. So not having it as options, hopefully draws a lot more people to just want to go to a show instead of thinking twice about it like everybody normally does. Yeah, man, I'll be out to see you guys. Sure. Started watching Magnum PI and I was 4 episodes deep and I wanted to know what happened. It's not. Hopefully, people really just want to come out and see a show.
Yeah.
Instead of thinking twice about it. Absence makes the heart grow fonder. Hopefully, everybody's ballistic about just wanting to go to shows, and every show's packed, regardless of who's playing. Just entertainment's entertainment, regardless of what level the band's out or whatever. You should be seeing everybody that's just coming out too, because they might be awesome as well. Just get out to a show. Hopefully, this will bring people out. We'll see. We'll see.
I can't agree with you anymore, my friend. That's for damn sure. Hopefully, people will be starving for it. And like you said, absence makes the heart grow fonder. That's your new song title right there, brother. Now metal that up.
I might have to fuck with that one.
Hey, bro,
absinthe makes my heart grow fonder. Is that what it was?
Yeah, but you got to metal it up a little bit.
I haven't drank absinthe.
Absinthe.
Ever. Have you? Yeah,
Actually,
absinthe makes my heart grow fonder. Have you?
Yeah,
is it good?
Oof.
It's
Make
different,
you do
right?
Stupid shit. Yeah. That's definitely bad decision
That's
material.
what I do. That's what I do. I do dumb shit all day.
Hey, bro, this has
Man.
been great to catch up with you, man. I
Always.
appreciate you taking
Always,
time to
man.
hang out with
Absolutely.
me today and chop it up and catch up.
Anytime,
and
buddy.
Going down these rabbit holes. And if you got new music, please use my platform. And,
I will. Absolutely.
And all that, man.
Yeah,
I
you'll
love
see
catching
something
up with
roll
you.
through in the next couple months.
Oh, I'm sure.
Absolutely, man.
I'm sure. Thank you so much for hanging out. Also got to thank
And-
EJA Moving Services, Attorney Dave Longaretti, Utica Coffee, and Saranac Brewery for keeping my podcast up and available for everybody. So also like, comment, subscribe, all the social media lingo when it comes to all things Disruption Network. And also check out Caustic Method on all the streaming platforms and all the social media platforms. And you guys like on Spotify and all that stuff too, right? Where can they find Caustic?
I'm in your backyard. I'm in your backyard. If you're
Open the
looking for us,
door.
just open your back door, scream my name, and I'll scream virus from the woods. I'm there. All the platforms, brother. Yeah, it's an amazing world where you can be on pretty much everywhere now without thinking too much about it. Yeah.
Go listen to some Caustic Method. I'll tell you, you guys are heavily on my gym rotation too, on my gym playlist. Heavily.
Cool, man.
You're always
good.
there.
Getting those biceps.
Your voice is really in tune to my bicep, I'll tell you. Hey, brother, good to see you, man. Thanks again for
Good to
hanging
see
out
you,
with
man. I
me.
love you,
and
man.
thank you
Be
to
good.
everyone. Love you too, brother.
Anytime, brother.
Great to hang out. Let's do it again really soon. Everybody else, have a good day. We'll see you soon. Later.